First of all, congratulations to you. If you are watching this video, then you are now in Algebra 1 Part 2, which means you successfully completed Algebra 1 Part 1. So like I said, congratulations on that. We're now starting with the first lesson in Unit 6, which is solving a system of equations. I'm going to go over a method in this video, one that you should be familiar with, which is graphing. So there are different ways to solve a system of equations. We're going to do graphing first, since that's the thing that you've covered most recently. We're going to kind of build off that, and then we're going to kind of show other methods that you could also use to get the same answer. All right, first, let's talk about what the word system means. All right, a system just means that you have more than one. Okay, and obviously the word equations is what it is, something that has an equal sign in it. Okay, so we're going to have more than one equation. Okay, so when you're asked by myself or another math teacher or Ms. Filipowicz, you should be able to say that a system of equations is having more than one equation, all right, given to me at the same time. Now, how you choose to solve that is up to you. Like I said, we're going to do graphing since that's the most thing that's recent. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're only going to do 2 examples, so the video should be short and sweet. All right, to find the solution, what you want to do for the graphing method is you want to graph both of your equations, and you're simply going to look for where the two lines intersect. In other words, where they cross. So if I start with this top equation here, I want to identify my m and my b. My m is -1/2, which tells me go down 1 and right 2. My b, the number that doesn't have the x with it, is 3. It's also my starting point. So on my y-axis, the one that goes up and down, I'm going to start at 3. So up 1, 2, 3 from the origin. There's 3 right there. 5 is up there, 3 is right there in between. All right, so now I have my 3. From there, I'm going to do my slope, which was down 1 box and right 2, which is that point right there. Now, for accuracy purposes, what I recommend is that you make as many points that you can fit on the screen. So I'm going to consistently go down 1 and right 2, down 1 and right 2, down 1 and right 2, down 1 and right 2. Okay, because we're trying to find where these two lines intersect, which means all of those points I just put on the screen are potential answers. All right, so the other line has to cross one of those red points. Now keep in mind, I did not go the other direction. So instead of down and right, I'm going to start at this 3 and I'm going to go up 1 and left 2, 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 up 1 and left 2. Okay, and what that should do is make you a nice straight line. So if you find that you're zigzagging or drawing some kind of V or something like that, then obviously you did not go in the right direction. Okay, so that's the first line, the red line. Second line, okay, I have that my M is 2 and my B is -2. The 2 is with the X, that's how I knew it was a slope. I don't have a bottom number, so we know to put a 1. This tells me to go up 2 over 1. Now this line is a little bit easier because I'm not going to make a whole bunch of points. I'm just going to make enough points until I hit that red line. All right, so I start at -2 at my B, right on the y-axis like we always do. And I'm going to go up 2 boxes and over 1. I did not hit the red line, so I'm going to try it again. From the same point, I'm going to go up 2 and over 1, and look at that. I landed right on the red line, which means I now have my solution. I got to draw me a nice straight line. The two lines form an X, they cross, and there it is. I'm pretty much done now. I need to state what the solution is. That point right there is what we call the solution. When you write the solution, we need to write it as an X and a Y, a ordered pair. So in this case right here on my X-axis, I'd be at 2. And on my Y-axis, I'd also be at 2. So it just happened to be that both numbers end up being the same. Okay, if you wanted to check yourself, because later you will do an IXL, and I know how frustrating that could be sometimes, all you simply do is take this X and this Y, and you substitute them into both equations where the X and Y's are located, and if the left and right sides end up being equal, then you know you did it right. So for example, Y is 2, so I'm going to take the top equation, and right where the Y is, I put a 2. Right where the X is, I'm going to put a 2 plus 3. These two numbers get multiplied, all right, which is -1 plus 3. And if you add these two numbers up, you get 2. Checks out. Okay, and if you do the same thing in the other equation, with this stuff that I'm doing right now is not mandatory. It's just simply a way to check yourself if you'd like to know. Okay, if not, keep it moving and go to the next example. All right, but my next one, which I'll do the bottom example, right where the y is, I'll put a 2 because that's what y is. And then x is also 2. This problem has a lot of 2's in it. My apologies. Multiply 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 minus 2 is 2. So that worked out as well. So that's a way to check yourself if you'd like to know. All right, next example. I wanted to give, so we got the basic, both lines are in slope intercept form, very easy concept, graph them, see where they cross. And then I wanted to give you another example that has all the possibilities, right? You could have Hoy and Vux. If your X or Y is missing, beware. All right, this one right here is Vux, so this is a vertical line at X equals 3. Remember, this is the only time that I start on the X axis right at 3, and you can just put points directly above or below. All right, we get the point, so I'm just going to draw a straight line as best as I can. And you can draw these graphs directly on your SmartPal, and if you want to, take a picture, and that way you have your notes right on your phone. But this video will be in Schoology, for as long as you'll be in this course. So if you need to refer back to it, so be it. So that's my first line. Done. Easy. The second line I wanted to do to make sure you know that lines aren't always in slope intercept form, which means you may have to get the y on the side by itself before you graph. So I'm going to minus this 2x since it's positive. Make sure you pay attention to the sign of that number in front of your 3y. It happens to be positive, so no big deal. I got my 12 minus 2x. You could put the negative 2x first and the positive 12 second, your choice. And I'm going to divide everything by 3. And I got y equals 4 minus 2/3 x. All right, this is now done. Now I can see what my m and my b is. My m is negative 2/3, since that's the number with x, down 2, right 3. And my b is positive 4. So here we go. I'm going to start at 4 on the y-axis, and I go down 2 and over 1, 2, 3, and I land right on the blue line. So that's what I'm looking for, is where do these two lines intersect? So now I can draw my lines crossing. Okay, and what I want to do is make sure I highlight what is the solution. So that right there, that point is over 3, right? So x is 3. And what's the y value? The y value is 2. Okay, so 3 comma 2 is the solution. Again, if you wanted to check yourself, plug in the 3 and the 2. In this case, it's very easy. X is 3, 3 equal to 3, check. Plug in the 2 and the 3, or 3 and the 2 in the second equation, and it should equal 12 on the left side, just like the right side. All right, so with that being said, go ahead and stop the video, or after the video, go ahead and move on to the next step.